Well, welcome back to the garden here in Neath, South Wales on this beautiful sunny June day. So it's the last day of my holiday today. I've had a few days off, only 5 days, but I wanted to spend today in the garden. So I've been busy propagating some houseplants for a change. And let's take a look now and I'll show you a few more jobs that need doing in the garden. So one thing that I wanted to show you, so I got to step over Vim here first, as he always sits right in the pathway. And this to me is very exciting. So you may say, what's so exciting about it? But just look at this large Phormium here. This is the large Phormium tenax. And when I came out here this morning, I noticed that it's actually flowering. Not just one flower spike, but 3. There's a huge one there at the back. So like I said, you may say, what's so exciting about that? Well, if you remember, this plant, actually, the wall fell on it behind. So the wall collapsed a few years ago. So I had to cut this plant right down to ground level. And it's actually grown up now even better than before. So it just goes to show how resilient these plants are in the garden. Absolutely fantastic. So it just goes to show that this plant is happy and healthy. Now this water butt has also got to be moved to the other side of the greenhouse. So I have got a little bit of water in it. How heavy is it? No, it's a bit too heavy to move. So I need to empty out the water first, and I'll pop that water into the other water butt at the top there, because I'm not going to waste any. Water is far too precious and too expensive to waste. So let's get the watering can out. So the water butt at the moment is near the door. Now if you remember, I did put it around this corner here and Tony fell over it. So my dad came up yesterday and what we discovered is we put a watering can full of water onto the glass here to see which way the water runs, and the water actually runs that way. So the greenhouse must be slightly angled towards that direction. So with that in mind, I have ordered the kit now. So this is the Hall's Popular greenhouse and this is a 6x6. So it's 2 in the kit, 2 adapters, and they are going to fit. So there's going to be a stopper on this end, and on this end of the greenhouse will be an adapter that fits onto this part of the guttering. And we'll have one on each side with a pipe each side which goes into the slimline water butt, which is going to be situated here. So I need to move the water butt over to this side, and Tony will just have to not use the pathway. So I don't want him falling through the greenhouse. So we just won't use this pathway at all then. But I do need to conserve as much water as possible. So that is something that's going to be done today, just to move that water butt into this part of the garden. So let's just get this area clear and ready. To put in the water butt. Start emptying this water butt. So we'll try and pop that in the middle. Pop the lid on it now for the time being. There we are. Job done. Now I can sort out some of these pots here. Coming into the greenhouse, I've been growing these little cuttings here inside the house in water, and I think now they're almost ready to plant out. So I've got a few little roots on these, so these today now are going to be going inside some soil, and I'll take them back indoors. So I'd better put some gloves on and find a suitable pot. Now, shall I put 2 plants into one or one in each? That's the question. So let's put a little bit of compost into here. And make a little hole and pop these right in gently. So let's get the other little pot, fill that up. Give it a little shake. So I'll have to top these up now in a second. And they are lovely looking plants, these, beautiful leaves on them. They give very small flowers. So being very careful. And I haven't really done an awful lot of propagation. So it's quite new for me. But it's nice to have a little go. Just to see if things take. Because if we don't try, we'll never learn. I'll give these then a little bit of a water. So that's one. I think that's enough compost in there. And just top the compost up then on this one. And I'm going to take these back inside. Just remembering to water them regular. But I do tend to forget about my house plants. I come out and water the garden quite often. But house plants, I should really try and keep on a schedule. But there we are. And then we'll pop them into some nice decorative pots. Lovely. Just tidy up the mess in here now. Pop them in a pot. Let's go and find some nice pots to put them in. So what about these two? Let's see if these will fit in. So there's one there. And a little pot there. And then give them a little drop of water. I'm going to take these back indoors. Take these off. And just look at them. 2 new plants. Wonderful. So I just want to tidy up the top of the wildlife pond, and to do that I just use a little sieve and just scoop up as much of this green as I can. So there is a lily in here, but this year we haven't had any frog spawn at all, which is a bit of a shame, as we did have frog spawn, tadpoles and frogs in it last year. But never mind. I'm sure it's beneficial for all types of wildlife. And I just scoop up just a little bit from the top, just to keep it a little bit clearer. There we are. So coming down to the bottom of the garden, I've been looking at my Euphorbia Wulfenii. Now this normally puts on a fantastic display, but it has gone really sparse and it's just not looking as it should. So I was thinking maybe taking a few cuttings from this, and then this particular plant, just remove him from the garden. And I think this could be an ideal place to put my pseudopanax, as this just isn't giving me any pleasure at all whatsoever. It's looking quite poorly there. And looking right down deep into the plant, you can see just how many times now I've cut this back. So I've cut off a few stems of the Euphorbia Wulfenii, and what I'm going to do, just trim down the stem a little bit more, remove most of the lower leaves, if you don't want too many, and then pop that then into some compost, and that should give us a completely new plant. So I did do this once with the John Phillips and it was a success, so we'll have another go. Make a hole, pop that into the compost. So making new plants out of ones that you've already got is not something that I do enough of, and I think we're all guilty of just buying new. So let's try it and see what happens. So I'll take a few and then we'll see which ones grow healthy. So I'll carry on with this. Right, so let's take this out. I'm going to give it a split. Alright, so let's get my secateurs. Clip this. So what's changed now in the garden? So let's have a look, and you'll notice that I've moved the spider's web to this area here. A nice shady position, a little bit more space, and the reason being is that the pseudopanax has been placed on the bottom of the garden. So I've cut back another big stem of the Fatsia japonica to enable me to get around the corner. So it is a shame to see the Wulfenii go from here. It's been a lovely plant, but the pseudopanax needed somewhere with a little bit more space, and that Wulfenii wasn't really doing well at all. But I have taken a good few cuttings from it, so all is not lost. So after moving the water butt from this area, I've just had a little bit of a rejig of the pots outside. So we've got a dahlia there, agapanthus and the oleander. And looking now inside the greenhouse, past the tomatoes, you'll see that on this side there's plenty of cuttings there now. So there's 3 of the John Phillips cuttings, and in this tray here there's quite a few of the Wulfenii cuttings and 1 John Phillips there at the back. So hopefully now they will take, and I can either pop 1 or 2 back in the garden and give the rest away to friends and family. I'm sure there's always somebody somewhere that wants a cutting. So what a difference in the weather today. Today is going to pour down all day. So I don't think there's going to be any gardening at all done today. But never mind. And even in the rain, the lovely golden delicious roses are looking absolutely fantastic there. And they're coming out in new blooms all the time. I think the ferns are enjoying this weather anyway, and they are looking absolutely wonderful in the rain. but it's definitely not the weather to be outside today. And I think I just need to go in now and have a nice cup of coffee. But before I go, I just wanted to show you that I did keep a little bit of the original Wulfenii. And that has been in the pot now for a few days. And so far, so good. So thank you so much for watching today. And if you haven't already, please like, comment and subscribe, as that really does help the channel to grow. And until next time, where hopefully the weather will be a little bit better, I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.